It was once appointed unto man to die. So one of these old days, your chariot will come. I don't know the day nor the hour, but my chariot, it will come. All I can tell you tonight is you better get ready, because your chariot is coming. Your chariot is coming. Coming for to carry me.
KYOK Radio, 11:40 a.m. and home of the Not So Christian in Me show with your hosts Larry Scott and Southern Girl Denise. We have fun in a no judgment zone right here on the Not So Christian in Me show.
And welcome to the Not So Christian in Me show. I am your host, Larry Scott, and today we have a great show lined up for you, y'all. I'm super excited here on the windy, cold Saturday. I don't know what happened, but I thought the weather was going to be pretty good today. But the temperature just dropped all of a sudden. But we thank God, because this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Again, we have a super great show lined up for you, and I'm just super excited because, first of all, I want to thank my co-host, Loretta Brock. She held it down last week, a couple weeks ago when I wasn't here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Loretta, for holding it down.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I think it was our family up in Killeen, Texas, Pastor Christopher Newton. He called me and said, "Man, who is Loretta Brock? She held it down on the Not So Christian and Me show."
That's him.
So, Loretta, thank you so much. Thank you for holding it down. You are super. You are natural. Natural, as my wife spoke of you.
Thank you, Southern Girl.
You're welcome.
And we thank God for you.
I need a name.
Again, on the Not So Christian to Me show, as my guest co-host. And man, we just got to get off into it, y'all, because we have a great topic lined up here today as we celebrate not just Valentine's weekend, but we celebrate this entire month as Black History. That's right, Black History Month, where we cannot forget about our Black History Month, y'all. How can we forget about it when we are talking about today, freedom? That's right. The topic today is about freedom. So if you have a question, go ahead. Don't wait. Go ahead right now. If you have a question or a comment, go ahead and call in right now, 281-453-1000. So let me just go ahead and bring my guest out today. I'm super excited, y'all, because he is known. Let me tell you his AKA name.
Okay.
His AKA name is the Pusher.
Hey.
The Pusher.
Hey.
Push it real good.
The Pusher,
yeah,
come on.
And the reason why he has that name called the Pusher because he has a unique gift, y'all. A unique gift of leading people out of their comfort zone into their purpose. How about that? That is awesome. So let me just go ahead and bring him out right now. He is the CEO and the founder of a nonprofit organization called Be Free. And he is my good friend. You know, he's not a stranger here on the Not So Christian in Me show. He's been here on this platform before some years ago, and we want to welcome him back, y'all. He's a life coach. He's a father. He's a pastor. Let me just give him a warm welcome on today on the Not So Christian in Me show live here on the legendary KYOK. Please help me welcome Pastor K.C. Fenley.
She brought out the pom-poms for you. She never brought those out.
They got the pom-poms out for helping me out. Man, it's such an honor to be here, man. It's so amazing how things can come back full circle, man. I feel like, you know, the last time I was on here was like a lifetime ago, man. I feel so young the last time I was here. I feel like I didn't age a little bit. I got a little gray on my beard now and stuff. So, you know, hopefully I can drop some wisdom on you guys, man.
Wow.
I'm honored to be here, though. Thank you
We are
guys for having me.
certainly thankful for you to be here. Take out the time of your busy schedule, Pastor Fenley, for being here on this show here today. We're here today to talk about freedom, but before we get off into that conversation, let's tell the listening audience out there just a little bit about KC Fenley.
Man, so I don't know how far you want me to go back. I know this the Not So Christian in Me show, so I don't know how far can I go back. I can go back and I can go back. You know, go back. So all right. So I'm gonna give y'all the brief synopsis. I'm gonna give y'all the Cliff Notes version. You know what I'm saying? So you know, honestly, man, raised in the church. So I was raised to do the right thing. But then there was a passion for money. There was a passion for women and everything else. And so I was drawn to a street life. Man, come on, the love of money. Come on, being the root of all evil, man. It definitely put me in a dark place, man. And so I went through probably, I would say, man, a little over a decade of my life, really just in the streets, you know, doing everything I was big and bad enough and bold enough to do. And, you know, I can't tell on anything on the grounds that it might incriminate me later on. So I ain't gonna give too many facts. But just know. You understand me? But man, come on, man. And then, yeah, come on, if it don't fit. Yeah, man, we got some characters in here today. But man, honestly, man, you know, kind of bringing things full circle again. You know, I tell people all the time, man, I gave my life to God in the back of a warehouse building.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was literally at work, you know, and it was a period of my life where, you know, my manager at the time, he grabbed me, he set me down, he says, "Young man, do you realize you've been to a funeral every weekend?"
Wow.
He said, "You don't think nothing's wrong with that?" And I was like, you know, I ain't really think about it like that.
Think about it.
Because at the time, you know, down was normal. I mean, you know, hey, you grow up in the streets, it just happens. Either you go to jail or you die. It was just the norm.
That's right.
And so as time began to progress, I really began to realize that people were literally dying or going to jail that were around me. And it was like literally like I was getting phone calls left and right. And at the time I'm working, but I'm still kind of halfway in the streets because I'm like, it's what I know to do.
Right.
And so I'll never forget, man, you know, I was telling testimony. I mean, I came to God real, you know, I said, hey, look, you know, God, this me and you. This was my prayer at the time, you know, God, this me and you. You know, I'm gonna try it your way.
Right.
So when I do see you on Judgment Day, I can say I did try your way.
Right.
And if it don't work, I can go back to my way, so I can say I tried it your way. You know, and I'm glad to say, man, that was oh Lord, that was about 13 years ago. So and I've been doing it his way ever since, man. And so coming in, man, you know, started off with Christian rap. Because I love music, I love youth, and I knew that music is a tool, and it was a way that I can reach the youth, right? So I wanted to put the message of Christ, you know, in music, and so that kind of got me into studying my word more. For my pastor to reach out and say, "Hey, it's time for you to start preaching." I'm like, "Oh Lord," and so preaching got me into evangelizing because now I'm involved in the community and doing different things. And then so my pastor said, "Okay, cool, we need to make you an evangelist." Right. And I'm like, "Oh Lord," you know, to go another step. And then doing that, man, and just being faithful in those things, and then having my pastor, you know, elevate me once again to a youth pastor and making sure that I can really just cover and speak to the kids and everything else. And man, I just been growing with God, man. And so on that path, you know, comes the life coaching, you know, because again, you know, I mean, we all make mistakes in life, and a lot of times life, you know, we don't know how to correct them. You know what I mean? We all have a purpose. We all have a goal. We all have things that we want to achieve, and sometimes you need somebody to give you the right play. That's what the coaches do. Yeah. You know, you got the talent, you got the ability, you just don't know the play to run. I'm gonna help you run the play. I'm gonna set the play up for you. And so when you start talking about this whole pushing, you know, that's where the pushing came from. You know, because again, man, you know, my clients would tell you, man, I have them outside their comfort zone. You don't like to go live, you're going live every day this week. You know, you don't like to talk to people, you're talking to people every day. I need a list. I need to know.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because again, I need you to be outside of your comfort zone.
Right.
And because again, if you listen to my story, I was outside my comfort zone every time I was elevated.
Wow.
You know, because every time God was drawing me and bringing me in, He took me outside my comfort zone.
Right.
And so, man, and so now you have it, man. So I wrote the book, you know, Live Free and Forever, man. It's really a book that I wrote, and I do have a copy for each and every one here.
All right.
You better say that.
Yes. I do.
Autograph mine.
Yeah, I will. But I wrote the book, as if I can talk to myself 20 years ago, right? Because I realized, man, you know, 20 years ago, there were some things that I was involved in that I really struggled with. You know, like I had a plan, but you know, I just didn't know how to run the play. And so even though I had a plan, I fell off and I started doing other things just to come back full circle to do what I was doing 20 years ago. And so, man, and so I write the book. And so as you guys read it, hopefully you can kind of grasp that feel from it, that vibe from it. So like, man, whatever it is, your purpose, whatever you tapped into, man, stay with it, because eventually it will grow. And so that's where I'm at today, man. That's where I'm at today.
Pastor KC, as we focus on Black History Month, February is the month that we celebrate Black history. What does Black history really means to you?
Man, so on a personal level, it's everything, right? Because it's hard to know where you're going if you don't know where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you really look back on Black history and so much that we have overcome, and so from the holistic standpoint of Black history, is just the overcoming, the conquering every obstacle, and it just reminds us that we are built to overcome. We're built to, like no matter what's thrown our way, we're built to come out, and we're built to come out on top. And so, man, I'm always inspired holistically of Black history. But then if I take it a step further, I look at my family history, right? It took me a while before I realized that, man, I was a curse breaker. My father went to prison. My grandfather went to prison, and so you go so on and so on. And so when you start looking at history really makes sense. And if we're not careful of it, like the woman of God said, we will repeat it. And so you have to really embrace whatever your history is to make sure that you're moving forward correctly. So Black history to me is everything holistically and as well as individually, my own personal family.
The question has been raised, and we got to take a quick commercial break here. The question has been raised, Pastor KC, as we talk about freedom. Are we really free? Let us take a quick commercial break.
Marinate on that.
Yeah. That's a good one right there.
Elaborate on that one right there. Don't touch that stereo. If you have a question, 281-453-1000. We'll be right back.
Oh,
Man, shout out to all my viewers on here. How y'all doing?
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be
like
free.
Hey,
oh, freedom.
Jesus to bless it. Living water, yeah. Your life will never be the same after this one right here.
We're mobile.
Life-changing water.
Just living water right here.
Life-changing water.
I got living water in the studio, y'all.
Oh, hell, mine, but then. No, I got one. I was about to mess with this. Oh, okay, thank you.
Love Has No Disability Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that spotlights the grandparent-headed household. As part of our activities, we will develop and promote a community-based resource center for grandparents who have the responsibility of raising their disabled and special needs grandchildren. We want them to know that they are appreciated. If you know a grandparent that fits this description, or for volunteer and sponsorship opportunities, visit our website at www.lovehasnodisability.com or contact me directly at 832-212-4395. My name is Stacey Williams, and I am the founder of this organization that was inspired by my grandson, Jacob Jefferson, a shaken baby syndrome survivor and my hero.
The Roy L. Jackson Community Outreach Center is a nonprofit organization based in Houston, Texas, that provides support and outreach services for individuals and families who are battling cancer. They also provide services to senior citizens, single parents, low-income families, and homeless individuals in our communities. If you would like more information on the Roy L. Jackson Community Outreach Center, please contact founder Gwendolyn Jackson at 832-853-0308. Once again, that number is 832-853-0308.
It's your girl DJ Nikki Nice, and you're listening to the Not So Christian in Me show live with Larry Scott on the legendary KYK.
Every Sunday morning I'm in service, praying for forgiveness. Every Sunday morning I'm in service, praying for forgiveness. Every Sunday morning I'm in service, praying for forgiveness. Before I lay my head to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. And if I dream, Lord, let it be good. I have it bad enough in my neighborhood. Each day it's getting deeper and deep. The only time for me to escape is through my sleep. South Park ain't getting no better. Police try to bring the crime down, never. They want to take the crime off the street. They take those crooked cops off their beat. I'm a confused black-skinned brown brother. The only thing I really trust is my mother. I pack a pistol everywhere I go, waiting for someone to jump, and then I blow. I'm tired of bigots and white-collar scams. If I was the mayor of the city, they'd be damned. The devil of a different race got me pissed. Every time a black man rise, they want to diss. Forgive me, God, for feeling this way, but I face the same nonsense every day. Just the other day on my way to church, police pulled me over for an illegal search. They didn't find nothing, so they had to let me go. Push me back in the car, call my girl home. I got the badge number of the COP, but who they gonna believe? Not me. No one for a brother to turn to. They got America painted white, even you. So I'm looking to Farrakhan on the daily, still holding strong belief in God, my Savior. Little brother still selling that cane, but he ain't the one to damn to be blamed. I found out the one to blame is the U.S. press and your boy Hussein. Keeping drugs coming in on the boat. Economy good, and then they out. Broadcast $1 million bus, pull out the squad and come straight to us. Anger is built up inside me. I'm asking you to take the devil out my body. And if I make it through the night and a new day begin, please God, make it better for the black man.
We are back right here on the Not So Christian Me show on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM. And if you're streaming with us live out there, it's KYOKradio.org. We're here with our special guest, Pastor Casey Fenley. That's right. And we are talking about freedom. That's right, freedom. And before the commercial break, we had a question, and it leads to, are we really free? Because Pastor Casey, we're still facing hate crimes, and just this past week, I was reading an article where the historical black colleges was faced with bomb threats.
Wow.
Just this week.
Yes.
Because of Black history. And the question was raised, are we really free?
Man, I mean, you've already answered the question. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, no, we're not. I mean, I think free in the sense of, you know, we may not be shackled and we may not be slave in the way that it used to be, but the actuality of like what we're really going through and what we're really facing, there's still oppression that's upon us right now, right? So are we really free? No, my question, I mean, a simple answer is no. But I think that, you know, what really needs to happen though for us is really our mindset, right? We really got to shift our mindset to how we view it and what we're looking for and what we hope to obtain out of life. I mean, if we still waiting on somebody to give us something, we in trouble. You understand what I'm saying? Like, man, that's one of the reasons why I do a life coaching process, you know, and I teach, you know, on my podcast and my webinars and stuff like that, because if we still waiting on handouts, man, we in trouble.
We're in a lot of trouble.
And so we've got to change our mindset and begin to pursue the things that we need to have so we can really obtain freedom. But my answer to that question, we know.
Absolutely. Loretta, what do you think about your thoughts on this as we discuss freedom on today?
Well, thank you so much for having me as your co-host today. I mean, this is a very, very inspirational show. Pastor Fenley, it's an honor to be in your presence.
Thank you.
I'm in the presence of a pusher.
Yay. You're gonna bring the best out of me.
Right. I'm in the presence of a person who will help you press until something happens. That's our pusher over here. Yes, and I think I was going through your one of your Facebook pages or something, and I saw something that was talking about don't beg for a seat at someone else's table when you can build your own table. And that's a mindset.
Yes, it is.
So I noticed that you kind of tapped on that a little bit regarding the mind and the power of the mind. We know everything starts in the mind.
Right.
So can you take us, because you are a coach, among other things, right?
Yes.
And you say that the issue is we're not calling the right play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, coach, what I would like for you to do before you put me in the game is help me with my mindset. What is something that you could tell myself as well as everyone in our audience? You know, maybe one or two steps that you could start off with as far as shifting your mindset so that we can be more productive and move towards purpose.
Of course. Number one, love you.
Yeah.
And you know what? And you know what? And I say that, you know, as simple as it seems, most people that I talk to do not love themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And when you truly love you and you truly have embraced you, I mean, your flaws, your everything,
the good, the bad, the
bad, and the ugly. Embrace it, because it's the sum total of you. You know what I'm saying? And so man, and so I was.
You love Larry? You love Southern girl? All right.
I love myself.
I love KC too.
You love we having a love
since we in the love mood, you know.
With my red on.
We in the loving mood. But I always tell people to love you. Right, I love yourself. I always start off with building exercises, right? Your affirmations. Speak to yourself. Remind yourself of who you are, despite your mistakes, despite your shortcomings. You know, constantly fill yourself with that, because again, we're still talking about the same topic of freedom. If we're waiting on the pat on the back, if we're waiting on the handout, you're not going to get it. But you have to. You can reach back. You know, even in the Bible say, you know, the Bible said that David encouraged himself in the Lord, so he had to at least pat himself on the back, because again, if you're waiting on somebody else to lend that hand, you know, you'll be waiting for a long time. And so I always start off by saying, you know, love yourself, embrace who you are, embrace your uniqueness, because it's your individuality that gives you your true freedom, right? If we look at what freedom really is, or to truly be free, it means only being yourself.
Do you also believe that it's in our uniqueness that we have our value?
Yeah, come on, that's
your difference.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going, because I'm sorry, and I say this because it's what you bring to the table. Right. You know, my pastor preached an awesome message a couple of Sundays ago, and she talked about making the pieces fit together, and she was reminding us that no matter matter what size your piece is, no matter what color, it's your piece.
Yeah.
And your piece is needed.
Yeah.
And so when we start talking about, changing our mindset and loving ourselves, then we begin to tap into who we are and what we bring to the table. And that's how we really start seeing ourselves being free. Because again, when you're free to be you, there's nothing that can hold you back. There's nothing that can hold you down. When you're free to be you, it's when we copycat. It's when we mimic. It's when we imitate that we find ourselves being shrunken down, And so if I had to give you two, I would say love yourself and then embrace who you are and then begin to tap into who you are and love what you bring to the table. I can go deep if y'all need me to.
Well, and look, okay, yeah, let's just unpack it just a little bit more, just a tad bit more. Okay, because we do live in it's like we're more connected, but we're less connected.
Yes, yes.
Isn't that something?
That is true.
We're more connected,
Yes.
but we're less connected at
true.
the same time.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is so true. And so I love it. I mean, like you said, just being more connected but less connected really puts us in a place to where I need you, but yet I still feel isolated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so like even on my podcast, we're doing this whole theme is bigger than me. It's bigger than me. Like, man, you gotta think beyond you. Even though we're loving ourselves, we have to understand what we bring to the table, and it's always bigger than us. And so when I began to coach, I began to ask people, what do you bring to? What is it that you love to do? What is your true passion? Because when you start finding purpose is what you would do for free. Purpose is what you do every day. You never have to ask what your purpose is. It will find you. It will reveal itself.
Yes,
So when it starts coming to life coaching and talking to different people, I mean, I don't care where I'm at. This is what I do. To the point to where my wife she's on my live right now. She's listening to the radio at the same time. But to the point to where when we're out at family gatherings, I may go sit down with her friends, and then before you know it, I'm asking them what they're doing in life. That's a business. You can do that. You can turn that in. And if you do this and you do that, and so I'm giving instructions. This is truly who I am. And so when you start talking about living that freedom, I can do this all day long. I can talk to you about your purpose.
Yes, sir.
And so again, to kind of piggyback off what you're saying as far as being more connected, because we all feel the same pain. We all have the same burden. You just shared to us the HBCU. We all can feel that. Everybody in this room can feel the intensity of what it feels like to be under that pressure, but yet we're so isolated that not one of us, but I'm saying not one of us as the Black community are standing together to say, how can we connect to make sure that this does not happen? When we start talking about our purpose and our individuality, it means it's bigger than just being intentional. It's bigger than just being who you're created to be. It's bigger. It's about me being the pusher, me doing what I do, and then Brother Larry having the show, Minister Larry having the show and saying, hey, I need you to come do what you do on my show because we're connecting because it's bigger than me.
Yes.
Wow. Bigger than me, y'all. It's bigger than me. If you have a question or a comment, call right now, 281-453-1000. Again, that number is 281-453-1000. We got to take a quick commercial break. Don't you touch that stereo. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Sierra Sanders, owner of Sierra's Notary Services. I'm tuned in listening to the Not So Christian News Show with Larry Scott Live on the legendary KYLK Radio.
In the water, in the water, children.
I love you. That's what we better realize. We better realize that we need to give to the rest of the world. I gave you 24 hours, but I need you to be who you are so you can be what somebody else is within that 24-hour time frame. And so that's what I really try to make sure that people understand. When you start talking about purpose, you start believing that I have something to bring to the table. And sometimes it's just a smile. Sometimes it's as simple as a look. Sometimes people have infectious characters, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm the type of person, when you talk to me, I'm always smiling. We gonna always have a good time. And so people will
Always
always
gotta get in
find
your car.
themselves, coming around and be like, hey, you don't never have a bad day. But no, I know how to wear it well. You know what I mean? But again, I know what my gift is. I know that you need to see me strong, even though I'm going through it. So we start talking about being there for everybody else.
We're mobile. We will travel and meet you at your desired time. Concierge Service Services at 888-827-9761. Book your appointments now.
I shared with my podcast a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago. There was a woman who made $1 million off of she got tired of reading stories to her kids with other people's names in the book.
Love Has No Disability Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that spotlights the grandparent-headed household. As part of our activities, we will develop and promote a community-based resource center for grandparents who have the responsibility of raising their disabled and special needs grandchildren. We want them to know that they are appreciated. If you know a grandparent that fits this description or for volunteer and sponsorship opportunities, visit our website at www.lovehasnodisability.com or contact me directly at 832-212-4395. My name is Stacey Williams, and I am the founder of this organization that was inspired by my grandson, Jacob Jefferson, a shaken baby syndrome survivor, and my hero.
The Roy L. Jackson Community Outreach Center is a nonprofit organization based in Houston, Texas, that provides support and outreach services for individuals and families who are battling cancer. They also provide services to senior citizens, single parents, low-income families, and homeless individuals in our communities. If you would like more information on the Roy L. Jackson Community Outreach Center, please contact founder Gwendolyn Jackson at 832-853-0308. Once again, that number is 832-853-0308.
Hi, I'm Tammy Durden, owner of Tammy Durden International, and you're tuned in with Larry Scott on the Not So Christian in Me show, live on the legendary KYOK Radio.
We are back right here on the Not So Christian in Me show, live on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM. If you're streaming with us live, it's KYOKradio.org. We're here in the studio today live with Pastor K.C. Fenley as we discuss freedom. I understand we do have a caller on the line. Keisha, are you there? Are you there, Keisha? Go ahead, Keisha. Are you there? Go ahead.
Yes. I have a question. You mentioned, there was a webinar that was mentioned. I wanted some more details regarding that webinar. Would it be local in Houston, or can we be a part of it online?
Is that, yes, most definitely. So there's a Zoom link. If you could go to my page, KC Fenley, there's a Zoom link on there. And the next course will be February 26th at 12 noon. And it's called Your Push to Freedom. And so that's one of the things that we'll be talking about, number one, embracing our identity, and then coming out of the box to truly be who we are. So yes, definitely. I'm on Facebook, KC Fenley, KC, and it's spelled just like it sounded, the two letters, and then Fenley, F-E-N-L-E-Y, Push to Freedom.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keisha, for calling in. We have another caller on the line. Langley, are you there? Are you there, caller?
Yes.
I can hear you. Go ahead. Question or comment?
For the author, I wanted to see if he would just share some of the topics that are in the book, as well as maybe share some ideas for another book if that's something he plans on doing.
Oh, wow. Okay, so first book. Yeah. I love it. So first book, we start off with being the gift, and I was just sharing with them as we were kind of off the air, talked about being a gift and talking about embracing who we are and what we bring to the table. Then we start talking about the box factor. What are your hindrances? What are the things that hold you back? You can't move forward if you don't know what your obstacles are. Right. And so then we start talking about, I deal with 4 F's. 4 F's, and the 4 F's are friends, family, faith, and finances, and how do those things keep us from moving forward? And so those are a couple of topics from the book that I have now. The next book, I got a couple of them, so take some notes. The next book is God is Always Speaking, but Are You Listening? And I do a 31-day journal of how we can truly hear God through the normal days of life. And sometimes we don't realize that the prayers that we have prayed come through natural answers. And so I teach people how to learn how to hear from God in that area. And then shortly after that, I have a book that I'm writing for the youth. And so it'll be I'll Live Free and Forever, the teen edition. And so thank you so much for those questions. But that's what I got coming up next.
Are you there? Langley, are you there? Okay, all right. We hope that answers your question right there, Langley. Pastor K.C. Fenley has a lot of books, and
I'm working.
That one, if I can talk to myself in 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I can talk to myself in 20 years ago. That is the book name of it, right?
Well, it's called Live Free and Forever. Live Free and Forever.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As we focus and talk about Black History Month, so much has happened, and let me just ask you this here, Pastor Fenley. What about freedom of speech? Because I think I was reading an article last week sometime as well that Cardi B, matter of fact, Cardi B sued a blogger $4 million, and she won.
K, right?
Yeah, she won $4 million for just freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So where do it gets twisted at when it becomes definition of character, I would say, and then freedom of speech?
So, man, it's a fine line. You gotta listen, man. In everything you do, man, you got to have wisdom. You got to have wise counsel. I think we can say what we want to say, but I mean, we learned this in the streets. It ain't what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we learned that. We learned that at a young age. And so when we deal with stuff like that, man, we have to make sure that we are walking that fine line. And so when you begin to assassinate someone's character and different things, that's how you start getting into these whole, let me start going into your pockets for what you said, that conversation. but I mean, I believe in freedom of speech, and I believe, as a life coach and somebody who uses his voice, I believe that we all have a voice. I believe that we all have to say what, we all should have the ability to say what needs to be said or say what we feel. It's just how we say it that gets us in trouble.
That's true.
And go ahead.
And on that same note, because I know that we probably have some African-American young men listening.
Yes.
Okay, we have people that are giving out information, which is valid information.
Yes.
But like you said, it's not always what you say, but it's how you say it.
Yes.
Can you address our African-American youth as far as how they respond to authority?
Oh man, you getting close to home now. I got kids. You getting close to home now, man. But listen, let me say this.
Specifically, of course, the police officers, rangers, whomever.
Yes. Let me say something. Let me say this, and I hope you listen. And I hope you hear me well. There's nothing wrong with showing respect.
Nothing at all.
Nothing wrong with showing respect. When you show respect, you should expect to be respected back.
Absolutely.
And if I talk, young people talk, I'm saying, I tell people now, folks will match your energy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so if you come sideways, they gonna meet you right where you at. They gonna meet you right where you at. So man, even when I talk to the youth now, man, there's nothing wrong with being respectful. From your parents, to any adult. To anybody who has any sense of authority in the world, right? There's nothing wrong with showing respect. And then in a sense of being disrespected, there is a respectful way to respond. Yeah. Because again, just because they can match yours, don't give you the ability to match theirs.
Right. Because you're not in the same position.
Because you're not in the same position. Come on. And not only you're not in the same position, you're not on the same level. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have that type of authority. Yeah. And so even from a parenting perspective, right? I talk to my son, I talk to my kids. but you don't have the same level of authority that I have. Even though you may have a vantage point, you have, so what we'll do is, we'll talk, and then then we have to have a talk after the talk. Now this is your moment to talk. Tell me how you feel, and then after that, let me tell you why I said what I said. But if you can ever get to your point to where, if you can ever really understand that you can be submissive and respectful at the same time, without necessarily being disrespectful, and even when you are learn how to control your emotions. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Like, man, swallow your pride, bro. Like, bro, for real, that's what it is.
We want our youth to live to fight another day.
Yes.
We don't want to go to the morgue. We don't want to pick out caskets.
None of that.
We don't want to make T-shirts.
Yeah, but that's the facts. And if we don't really, again, if we're not really addressing it, and if we're not really taught on that level, man, it's a way that you can respond. So you can respond in a way that's not disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? We just listened to a song now who the young man on the song, the young man was being disrespected by cops. He asked, "What is your badge number?" Yeah. I know you disrespecting me, but sir, what is your badge number? You know what I'm saying? Why? Because there's again, I have a voice, but there's a proper way to respond to this. And if I go up the proper channels, then I should respect some type of results, right? And so we got to be okay with playing our role, and wherever it lands us.
Wow. Do you have anything to say regarding 93%? Now this is statistic, okay? 93% of African Americans that are murdered by other African Americans. Do you have anything to say on that right quick?
I do, man. I would say this: if you love yourself, the Bible says that we love our neighbors as we love ourselves. When you love yourself, you stop hating on everybody else. And so, man, if I could tell you anything in that regards, man, love who you are, and then love your brother as if they are truly your brother. Because again, we are here to build. We're here to build each other up. And so, man, love covers and love conquers all.
Wow. Well, you heard it. That's our time right there, y'all. We had a great time right here today on the Not So Christian. Fenley.
They about to pom-poms out.
My co-host is one of the best, y'all. Loretta Brock, she is in the building. Always like to give a special shout out to the founder, to the CEO of the Not So Christian Show, my lovely wife, the Queen, Denise. There you go. Get on down after the show, boy. And I always want to give a special shout out to our operator, Mr. Jay.
You gotta bring it back.
We gotta bring it back.
Oh yeah.
We gotta come back. Now, we've been requesting you.
Or maybe he's giving us that book.
That's what it was, man.
No, we don't have any book.
You gotta come back.
You can do that interview.
Thank you so much again, Pastor JC. We pray that God continue to bless you. And we honor you. It's Black History Month. We honor you on today. Make sure you tune in next Sunday, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you who's coming, y'all. So y'all can get ready for him. Get ready. He's Houston legend, former NBA basketball player. He is Houston Rockets, Mr. Robert Reed.
Hey! Man, one of my childhood.
Saturday, y'all, from the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. That's right, it's free with us live at KYOKRadio.com. Pick it up at 11:40 a.m. Same place, same time, right here with me and my co-host, Loretta Brock. God bless you, God keep you.
Now, if y'all see somebody outside the window,
Look here.
keep going on through the show. Don't call the police on me. How you falling on my I said, hey, what's security at? Man, awesome show, man. Thank y'all.
All right, love you guys.
The song had ended.
Oh man, what a great show.
Yes, a good show.
It was good. Yes, thank you so much.
Let me get y'all books now.
Okay, it's fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Everything. Thank you. You go, I'll take them and you want